Hello there, hello. Jackie here from St. Leonard's Reiki, talking to you today about Reiki, about the chakra system. So this video is about the root chakra, the first chakra in the body, otherwise known as the base chakra. I'm going to be covering them all. When I say all, I'm going to be looking at the 7 main chakras. There are hundreds, but I think going into the 7 main ones is enough. So I teach Reiki at St. Leonard's Reiki. I teach online. I teach online on Zoom live lessons. And I do find that people know of them, they know the name, but then most people aren't really aware of how important they are to us, to our bodies, to keep us well. We are energy. Reiki is an energetic therapy, and an understanding of chakras, I think, is essential. So let me help you. Whether you are interested in Reiki, learning Reiki, practicing Reiki for yourself or not, this will help you in keeping yourself balanced. I'm talking about the root chakra and how you can help yourself stay well by just having an understanding of it more. Okay, so where is the root chakra? The root chakra is where we're sitting. We're sitting on it. It's the like our tailbone. It's the bottom of the spine. It's the it's the start of the midline that goes up to the crown, if you like. And really, you know, if you're sitting cross-legged on the floor in that, is it the lotus position in yoga? That's perfect. But not all of us can get in that position. So, you know, you don't have to worry about that. We don't have to sit like that, but it's just having that knowing and that understanding that the root chakra is there, down there. And obviously, any connecting of the floor means we're going to feel more balanced in that area. Okay, so when we're talking about chakras, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about trying to find a balance. And it really doesn't matter if your root chakra is big or small. The whole point of chakra balancing and being aware of your chakras is just having an understanding if one of them is a little bit out, you know, if it's got a bit out of control, it's too big, or it's not doing anything and it's too small. You know, if there's any movement at all, because the chakras, they do rotate. They're like wheels, and they whir around. And the only reason they do that is because they're trying to get momentum. Yeah, it's if you imagine a mill, you know, one of those fans, what are they, the windmills that you blow. It's like that. It's trying to move and pull the life force energy in, and it's trying to release the life force energy out. So there always does need to be a certain amount of movement within the chakras, and that's usually why we feel that one of them is particularly out and is not in alignment, because probably got blocked. It probably isn't moving. It's probably stuck, constricted, or the complete opposite, and it's way out of control, and it's going too fast like the clappers. You'll know, because you won't feel right in that particular area of the body. So it's a really, really useful tool, having an understanding of the chakras, because you can kind of locate which chakra is going a bit awry. So anyway, coming back to the root chakra, people say to me, I've been told that my root chakra isn't doing well. I've been told that I need to take more care of my root chakra. My root chakra needs balancing. How do I do that? I don't know what to do for it. So that's what I want to talk to you about here now. The root chakra is to do with being in our body. And that might sound like, yeah, but when you're talking about holistic, emotional, mental, spiritual well-being, we often get caught up with the emotional and the spiritual and the mental, but we're talking really about the body here. We're talking really about keeping our physical body really well and tip-top and maintaining it. You know, like we maintain our cars. This body is our temple. This body is the vehicle that takes us through life. You might be really spiritually evolved, you know, doing really well, exercising, maybe taking time out, meditating, but we might not be actually eating well or you know, really nurturing the body. And that's what we're talking about here with the root chakra. So one of the first words that usually comes to mind when we're talking about the root chakra is grounding. So grounding, whenever we talk about grounding, we talk about remembering that we are in our body, remembering that we have 2 feet and they generally like being on the floor. And things like taking your shoes off and your socks off and being aware of your feet. When was the last time you looked at your feet? When was the last time you gave yourself a foot massage? You know, so taking the time out for that sort of thing. Can you reach your feet? You know, exercising, respecting the body, loving the body. You know, being aware of this physical body that we're in. So let's come to the body more. Let's celebrate it more. Let's be respectful of what we're doing for it on a daily basis. Are we giving our body enough sleep? Are we giving our body the right food? Food and drink are really important. They're really grounding. So anything you can do to help ground yourself is huge. Good homely food. I could just see a reflection in my face there. Sorry, I'm moving my light. Good homely food. So anything that's been grown near you, in the vicinity of where you're living, not buying it and you know it's been shipped miles away and packaged and who knows what's in it chemical wise. You want to be really taking more care in knowing what you're putting in your body. Yeah, so that you're more connected with the earth, so that you're more connected with living here on the earth. Because the trouble is we're not really very connected to the world we live in anymore. We think we are, we think we're so clever, we talk about grounding and we think we've got all this technology, but we're so disconnected. You know, many of us don't know where, oh, I'm getting lots of strange reflections on my face. A lot of us don't even know where a lot of our food comes from. You know, especially if you ask the youngsters, they don't really know that like bananas grow on trees, things like that. So it's just really going back to basics, really going back to yeah, our ancestors and growing our own food. And the other thing that we can do is we can pray over our food. I do say this a lot now, and when I say pray, I don't mean become all religious and pray to God or pray to a God every time we eat. But I just mean, you know, while you're cooking your food or just as you're about to tuck into your porridge of a morning, just eating more slowly and thinking about what it is that's going into your mouth and where it's come from and just being thankful for it. So just really looking at it and having a moment with it. That sounds really funny, but that's really what I try to do. I try to think, wow, I'm so grateful that I've got this. I am so thankful that this is in front of me and I'm able to make this for myself and give this to my body, that the The waters rained down on it, the sun grew whatever it is that needed to be grown, the people that needed to sow the seeds did their job. You know, just having a moment to be respectful of what it is you're feeding yourself, and very much with our drinks. So just as you hold your cup of coffee or your water or your juice, just looking at it and just being thankful for this drink that you're just about to drink down. And you know, it's about having a relationship. That's what it is. It's about having a relationship again with where we are. Yeah. Being in the present is really important. All the time we are not here now. All the time we are worrying about what's been. All the time we are worrying about what's coming. That they are times where we're not in the present now, and we are not having a relationship with where we are now. So that's not very grounding. Colors, color is very important. When we talk about root chakra work, we're talking about earthly color. So, you know, nature comes to mind with the root, doesn't it? With being outside, the earth, the ground. We're thinking about the colors of brown. We're thinking about the colors of reds, oranges, you know, really, really earthly colors. If you can think of fires, flames, you know, oranges, when the sun sets, be that beautiful burnt orange sky. So if you're needing to bring more groundedness in your life, you could be thinking about wearing those colors. That would help. Obviously being outside, obviously gardening, getting your hands dirty, jumping in puddles, swimming in the sea, even taking a bath or a shower. I mean, obviously we all wash, but it's doing it with a respect and having a relationship. So when I say that, I mean when you're in the shower or you're in the bath, it really is just having a moment to give thanks. You know, as you take, you need to give thanks. And when I say take, I mean as we take the water for our cleansing, for our washing of our body, for our drinking, for our medicine, you know, the food, for the nutrients for our body. As we take, we give thanks, and we just say in our mind, you know, we don't want to appear nutty to the rest of our family, but every time we eat something, we say thank you, thank you. But there's a relationship, you know, there is an understanding, there is a noticing. I suppose noticing is a good way of summing it up. Yeah, and a noticing of the earth as well. So it's the mother energy. Talk a lot about the mother energy at the moment. You know, we've got to come back to that mother energy of Mother Earth, and being aware that there is this very feminine energy in the world that wants to love and nurture us, and stepping into that and allowing the water to caress us and wash us and cleanse us. Notice that, and notice the change in, you know, you step into the shower, you go for a swim, you go for a walk in the forest, and notice how you feel when you walk out of the forest, when you come out of the water. You feel so different, and it's because you've been blessed, you've been bathed from head to feet by that mother energy, by that grounding that's been given to us on earth. It's the present to us, which can be very taken for granted. Obviously the feet, I've spoken about the knees, the hips, our whole legs. They are all our root chakra. They are all the base chakra. So, you know, spend time loving your legs, being kind to them. Maybe they need a massage. Maybe they need some Reiki. You know, just hands on your legs. Just taking time out to maybe massage some oil in any dry skin, you know, listening to them. I was working with a lady this morning who's having problems with her knee, and you know, she's completely exasperated by this injury or this knee that's playing her up. And I sort of said to her, maybe give thanks to the knee. Maybe the knee is talking to you and asking you to listen to it and saying, oh, could you sit down more? Could you take a time out? And, you know, to just let's listen to whenever anything is playing us up. So whenever anything is catching our attention, maybe there's a message there. Maybe we need more exercise. Exercise is fantastically grounding, fantastic for our root chakra healing. So if you want to get more in tune with your root chakra, walking. Walking is brilliant because it's not too damaging. You know, obviously running's great, but walking, there is a rhythm, and every time the foot makes contact with the floor, there's a rhythm. You know, it's almost like that drumming. Oh, drumming as well. Yes, so rhythm, dancing, being in tune with our natural rhythm. That's huge. There are so many rhythms in the world, and the rhythm of the moon, you know, the moon cycles. Maybe just for this next month, really trying to take a moment every evening or at night before you go to bed to see if you can see the moon, or maybe even looking in a moon diary, or I've got an app on my phone, you know, because sometimes it's cloudy and you've no idea where you are, you know, just almost having a connection with the moon. And then relating that to how you've been feeling, because again, we're a bit disconnected from that, from the natural cycles within our body. I know women, you know, we have the menstrual cycle and we can't really be disconnected from that. But the other cycles that go on, there's so many cycles in the world, and the moon is a huge one. It's known that the moon really does affect our moods, obviously. So it might be really useful to have more of a relationship with the moon, because there's all sorts you can do for yourself with regards to the moon. And, you know, you can get into manifesting and really taking more control, because you are able to do that. You are a creative being, and having an understanding of the ways that you can be more creative is fantastically grounding. Being a gardener is fantastically grounding, obviously, because you're creating not only a beautiful, lovely habit of pastime of being at one with the earth, and maybe having a moment to reflect and be still and be quiet in nature, but you're actually maybe able to feed yourself by sowing seeds, or a lovely flower garden, and then being more in tune with nature and the joy of the earth's fantastic bounty. Coming to nature again, animals, of course, animals, flowers, trees. You know, we can hug a tree and it can make us feel better, because we're connecting with the tree's energy, and the tree is so grounding because it is a living energy itself. So noticing the trees, You know, a lot of us don't know what the trees are anymore. You know, we know it's a tree, but what kind of tree? What season are we in? Yeah, just, you know, being aware of that, and you know, respecting the seasons. You know, winter, well, I'm in England in February, and when I look out the window, a lot of the trees, well, most of the trees are bare, and we can be depressed about that, and we can be depressed about the fact that there aren't many flowers, but to notice the magic in everything as well. So the magic in a bare tree is that we can see the birds more clearly. You know, we can be more connected with perhaps the nature, animals, the creatures. So what have I not said? Sitting in starlight, you know, it's lovely to go outside on a sunny day and to sunbathe and have a lovely walk in the sun, but equally it's really empowering to just pop out, maybe put your coat on and sit and gaze at the stars, and you might not feel the energy. You know, that not everybody is so in tune with the power of the moon and the stars, but you will again perhaps feel when you come in after being outside for a while how refreshed and changed and invigorated you feel. Yeah, much like putting, if you like your crystals, stones, putting your crystals out on outside or on your window ledge. We do that because we know that they become charged by their moonlight and the starlight. Well, so do we. We are like a big walking crystal. So absolutely, we're going to recharge ourselves by being in starlight. Even if you can't see the stars and it's a cloudy night, they're always there. It's like the blue sky. The blue sky is always there behind the clouds. So yes, I think it's just maybe if you can't see the stars and the nature or whatever it is you think you're needing, just know that it's always there, and just allowing yourself to go out and sample it will invigorate you. I've made some notes here, so I'm just checking that there's nothing I've not said really. I think the last thing to say then is geometry. Geometry, I do need to do some videos on geometry because that's, you know, a whole video in itself, but very grounding are the shapes, in particular the square, the cube, triangles, but let's talk about the square just briefly. Yes, the square, it has the 4 corners. Anything with the number 4 is very safe. You know, we like being in our boxes. There's no surprise why we all like being in a box with 4 walls. Very safe. We're very protected. We need safety and security. The root chakra, the base chakra is all about security, survival, you know, not feeling fearful. So yes, absolutely, shelter is very important. Having that roof over our head, feeling that triangle over our head, and feeling the walls of protection around us. So if you want to feel as though you're pulling a shape around you, a square is a lovely shape. Being in a square can be very powerful. So I think that will probably be a good introduction for the root chakra, the base chakra. I can do more, but that's great. So if you want to help yourself with Reiki, put your hands just in your lap. I've literally got my hands in my lap. I could be sat anywhere in a group of people on the train or a bus, and nobody would know that I was intending to give myself a Reiki treatment with my hands just lightly resting in my lap. You could put your hands on your hips, on your knees, or you could grab a foot or sitting on the floor and be holding your feet. That would be fantastic, giving yourself Reiki to your legs in any way. Or you could just have your hands anywhere and just intend that you'd like to give yourself Reiki to your root chakra. And remember, we can beam Reiki down to our feet if we can't reach them, or it's just too much of a stretch. So I hope that helps. If you're needing grounding, if you're needing to, if you're feeling or you've been told that your root chakra is out of balance, there's a few ideas to help you that you can do either with Reiki or without Reiki, you know, lots of ideas to help you with the root chakra. Okay, I will see you in the next video and we'll look at the sacral chakra. All right, love for now. Have the rest of a lovely day. See you really soon. Bye.